Good evening. This is the RTI Response to Intervention Project presentation by Amanda Varney. I am a second grade teacher at Burning Springs Elementary in Clay County, Kentucky. Just a little bit about Burning Springs Elementary. We are a top progressing 10% school in the state. We have approximately 325 students, pre-K through 6th grade in the school. We have 15 classes and 13 teachers. We have 3 special ed teachers, 6 instructional aides, 1 principal, 1 instructional coach, 1 Promise Neighborhood academic specialist, 1 Save the Children director, 1 speech teacher, 1 part-time school psychologist, and 1 reading mastery specialist. We also offer extended school services 4 days a week, extended math services 4 days a week, math intervention classes for 3rd grade, and reading mastery. Our school also has the free lunch program where every child gets a free lunch every day, so nobody has to pay regardless of their class, but we are at about 89% under the poverty level. What does RTI look like at BSE? At the Clay County Schools, we define areas of deficiencies in basic reading skills, reading fluency, reading comprehension, listening comprehension, written expression, oral expression, mathematical reasoning, mathematical calculation, and behavior. This is the copy of the front cover of our Response to Intervention Implementation Manual. This booklet contains all the forms that you would need. It also contains the process and the stages of each tier and any other information that you would need on how to complete these the tiers and how to keep up with the data that you are taking. The stages are stage 1 referrals. A screener or benchmark assessment is given and indicates a deficiency. Assessments such as MAP, STAR, and Discovery Education assessments are given. Stage 2 is consultation. The classroom teacher turns in the Tier 1 data sheet. The principal or instructional coach may meet with the teacher to discuss the referral. Stage 3 is the problem identification and analysis. The RTI team will review all of the data given and then target the skills that need strengthening. Then they will create lists of interventions for the child. Stage 4 is develop and to implement the intervention. At this point, an intervention plan is developed and contains goals, objectives, timelines, specific interventions, and an accountability plan. Stage 5 is evaluate the intervention. The pre-established timeline is reviewed to monitor progression. From this, the team determines the next steps for that student. We adjust the tier, we modify the intervention, or there is a referral made for an ARC. Who is involved in RTI at BSE? The principal, the instructional coach, the specific classroom teacher, and a specific interventionist. Others that could possibly be involved are a school psychologist, a speech-language pathologist, special education teacher, or other specialists such as a truancy officer, which is the officer that makes sure that the children are coming to school. They are the ones that send out letters to the parents when their children have been absent in excess of 9 days, and then they are also the ones that report to court when the parents are summoned if the attendance does not get better from after the 9 days. So they just keep up with attendance, and they can be involved with the RTI process. So you're asking who is in RTI and what happens when they get there. Tier 1 is a high-quality program of instruction, research-based instructional strategies, and ongoing assessment of students to determine instructional strengths and needs. The strategies and modifications are provided within the regular classroom. This is addressed by flexible grouping, ongoing formative assessment, and targeting specific skills. This is a copy of the Tier 1 intervention plan that the teacher would fill out. Who is in RTI and what happens when they get here? Tier 2 is targeting instruction. This is provided to students that are below benchmark in one or more areas. In addition, the classroom instruction they receive at least 30 minutes of this instruction per day. The additional instruction happens at least 3 days a week for 90 minutes. Only approved research-based interventions are used. Progress is monitored monthly according to the specific timeline set by the RTI committee. And this is a copy of our Tier 2 intervention planning sheet. Who is an RTI and how did they get there? Tier 3. Students in this tier are given more intensive, explicit, and specifically designed instruction to meet individual needs. They receive a minimum of 30 minutes per day for 5 days a week. Only research-based interventions are used. Progress is monitored weekly. The timeline is established by the RTI team. And this is a copy of the Tier 3 page that you would use in the manual for that. What happens after RTI? This is the evaluation stage. The RTI team decides if the student responded well enough to return to Tier 1, if the student needs a change to modify an intervention, or if the student needs a referral for special education testing, and which is basically an ARC meeting. You know, do the parents give them permission to test? And from there they can start testing and see if the student qualifies for special education. What kind of interventions do we use? We use reading mastery, which is a small group level, on their level, special and direct instruction. It's a direct instructional program to help students in their reading fluency. And so the students go to this person at our school an hour a day, and they receive instruction with a small group, or it could be one-on-one, depending on where their level of instruction is at that point. We have a Promise Neighborhood Math Interventionist for 3rd grade. She works with the 3rd graders who are struggling in 30% and below. She helps them with basic skills that they are lacking. That she also helps build them up to the 3rd grade skill level. We also use Study Island and iExcel as a means of intervention. Those are not the main interventions, but we do use them to help the students if needed. New next year, we have a math interventionist for K through 3, not just the 3rd grade, but a specific math interventionist position for that for K through 3. We have the iReady assessment with lessons. The iReady is a new program. The students take it kind of like the math. They take it twice a year, I think, and they get this test actually tells the teacher exactly what they're missing. If it is basic calculation, if it is doing, let's say we're talking about math, the basic calculation. If we're talking about reading, it will tell us if they're having phonetical problems or if they have problems with dictionary skills. It will give you an exact printout on what each child needs to bump them up to the next level. And then that comes with lessons, and it comes with a program that the students can use to help their scores. And we will also have math workshops that are leveled for each grade for 30 minutes, along with the 1 hour math instruction that everybody receives daily. So they will have 1 hour of math on their level with other students, and then they will have 30 minutes of math on their level in a small group. So they will have, we will have 3 groups per grade, and they will have, we'll have a low, an on-level or target group, and then a high level, a high group. Thank you for listening tonight. I used my Clay County Public Schools Response to Intervention Manual, which was revised in 2010, to help me understand the process more and to inform you of the stages and the different ways that we do our response to intervention. So thank you very much. Have a good evening.